Welcome to the Motivated Martial Arts Podcast. Your hosts, Jackson White and Gavin Cook, have been friends and Taekwondo training partners for over 40 years. This podcast will bring you a mixture of their life stories, martial arts, and business experiences to motivate you in life and throughout your martial arts journey. Adding in a mixture of inspiring interviews and some of the best traditional martial artists around today. So over to your hosts, the Motivated Martial Artists.
Welcome to the Motivated Martial Artists Podcast with me, Gavin Cook.
Me, Jackson White.
And this evening we've got Oliver, the baby-faced assassin, Sykes. I bet you're really happy you told me that, weren't you, Oliver?
Yeah. I wish I didn't tell you now.
Okay. Obviously, son of the legendary Bob Sykes. So we've been told that we might have a few of his old legendary stories coming out on this podcast at some point. No pressure,
some,
Oliver.
not all of them.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
No, thanks for coming, Oliver. Really, really good. It's good to get you on, having seen you fighting and competing, certainly in the Clash of the Titans. So yeah, it's good to understand a little bit about the man behind the infamous Bob Sykes. And it always, having been there myself, it's always a challenge fighting out your dad's shadow. But having seen you fighting, that shouldn't be a problem.
No, I've got a lot to live up to with him, Anna.
Yeah. Well, it's not unsurmountable that you can surpass him, without a doubt. So just talk us through a bit of your background. I normally do the first question. So just talk us through your background. I can imagine it already. Fighting with nunchuckers at the age of 1, kicking before you could walk, and all that good stuff. But just give our listeners a bit of an insight to growing up in the martial arts world.
I started off with karate when I was 3, doing these little ninjas classes, and I sort of went off it a bit, the karate. And my dad started having me doing something called Silat. Have you heard of Silat?
No.
All right, here we go. These are weird things my dad had me doing to train. So we had something called Penjak Silat Wali Songo we had me do, which is an Indonesian martial art.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's like you have to copy shapes of animals and stuff. The conditioning we had to do were horrible. So, and I'd done that from about age 5 to about 11. Just that, no else. Just go down.
Okay.
And these sessions are about 2.5 hours long. They were horrible. Like, we had a whole load of adults in class who just couldn't do them. I'm there about 8 years old having to do these right hard conditioning sessions.
So what was it? Was it like the poses? Was it, I don't know, was it a cross between almost martial arts and like Pilates type thing where you're holding positions, or was it, sort of explain it, but how, trying to understand how that worked?
Well, we started on the ground with it. Then, so you start off doing these shapes, and they are quite similar to the shapes you sort of see in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo.
Okay.
But I didn't know why I was doing them because my dad didn't tell me. He just said, do these.
Just do these, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just do these.
So
you'd shadow them, and there were a lot of elbow strikes and knees involved in it. Not much kicking or punching. Yeah, it was just solid, the movements you have to do. You see a lot of the MMA guys doing it now, like, do you remember when Conor McGregor started doing that weird walk on his hands and feet?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Mimicking like a lizard and stuff like that. Very similar to that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So I was doing that.
Did you grade in that?
Yeah, my dad gave me a piece of string after about 7 years of doing it, just to pop around me. Everyone else had nice sashes and stuff. I got a bit of string.
Brilliant.
And then once I got that bit of string, I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I went into kickboxing.
Right.
I wanted something better.
Fair enough. So what did you like about the kickboxing then?
I like hitting people.
Okay.
That was main bit. I love getting hitting people. And I was quite good at it. So I kept doing it.
Yeah, brilliant. Did you find that, so as you progressed into kickboxing, so the Silla moves, if you like, do you think that conditioning when you were younger influenced what you did in your kickboxing?
Completely, yeah.
Because
it still does.
It's funny, isn't it? Because the stuff, I mean, I'm 46 now, and if you tell me to remember something, I'll remember it straight away, but I've forgotten it in about 2 days' time. But I can still remember the stuff that I learned when I was 4 or 5. It sort of sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, no, there were a lot of twisting and spinning in it as well. So that's why I've got a good back kick.
Yeah.
because I'd be constantly twisting, getting used to moving my hips, and it's giving me a brilliant back kick. I always whack people with back kick.
Nice.
That's what I'm known for.
Yeah, drive
That's what my dad were known for as
drive
well.
that heel into the ribs.
You've had a few of them off me, haven't you, Gav?
Yeah, I've had a few from a lot of people actually over the years.
You never learned.
Never learned, yeah. Charging in with a blitz, that's it. Coming running forward. Ah! No, bam. Lining me up for the back kick.
Every time. So, how old are you when you got your first degree, black belt then? Oliver?
I did keep the karate up a little bit whilst they were doing that. I can't even remember how old I was when I got my black belt. I couldn't tell you, honestly. I forgot. But my dad just had me fighting to get me dans.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I won junior world title at 16. And he went, here's your fourth dan. I've been on my fourth dan since.
Right, okay.
It gets to a point though, doesn't it, where you start doing your grades, and if you're a fighter, all you care about is just really getting in the ring and fighting. I mean, we talk about on the podcast quite a bit. I mean, when me and Jackson were younger, the only reason we wanted to get our black belts was so we could get in the black belt division. That was it. It wasn't for the well, I suppose it was to say that you were a black belt, but you used to fight at like red belt and black stripe, and you used to see these black belt fighters punching living crap out of each other. And it's like, I want to be in that square next, doing that. So
it's hard because when we were younger, they didn't really have weight divisions for juniors. It was just
it's weird, the weight division. It's like under 50 kg you get weight divisions, and once you're above 50 kg, it's like just open weight.
But we didn't even have weights. It was in height, and if there was 20 kids in there that turned up for a competition, all grades, didn't really matter. They just used to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, halfway. You're lightweight, yeah, and everyone else is heavyweight. And no one ever took in consideration. I had a big afro when I was back in the day. That was about 3 inches on me. So when I was about 10, I was going up.
Is that why you shaved it off?
Yeah, well, no, it fell off eventually. It happens to us all, unfortunately.
Yeah.
When I was about 10, I'd be getting into the groups with 15-year-olds and just getting battered for 2 minutes. So it was, it wasn't enjoyable at all. So when I was younger, I hated sparring until I was probably about 13, 14. I actually then start holding my own.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I was a kid. I remember getting side kicked in the body when I was about 4, and then I never wanted to do it again.
Yeah, that's it. It's like sink or swim time, isn't it? Some kids you can get so put off sparring if you get caught with a whack when you're small.
No, it's the same. And then I didn't get back to sparring until about 11. And then for some reason I just loved it because I was smacking everyone else with body kicks right hard.
Yeah. And it's those teenage years, isn't it, as you start to get a bit more strength as well. And, it all starts to come together a little bit. I mean, you're still a little bit like your body's obviously all over the place. You're growing faster than your muscles have got time to catch up, or your ligaments have got time to catch up. So you're a bit like Bambi on ice, but you're getting stronger, aren't you?
Yeah. But I'm still like going through that stage. If you can't tell, that's why I got called baby face.
Yeah, right. I don't believe that for a second. I remember being 23. That was probably peak of my fitness at 23.
I feel great. 23-year-old, I feel fittest I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Feel incredible.
So what sort of training do you do then, Oliver, in terms of conditioning? Do you do running, weight training?
I don't do any weight training at all.
No?
I do none. I just do a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling, and just eating bag a lot and sparring, that's it.
Okay,
Don't do any... I do a bit, but I get a bit bored when I'm out running. I can't focus on it. It's all right for when I'm going up for fights and I need to get my fitness up, but I don't enjoy doing it. I bought an exercise bike for my house and I still haven't used it.
You and about 200 million people around the world over COVID.
All these Pelotons that are all being used as a coat hanger.
That's not a Peloton. I wish I had one of them. They have TVs on them.
That's it, yeah. It was £2,000 down the drain in my house. It was just been wasted. I sat there with my partner putting her clothes on it.
So you did your karate then, Oliver. So what was next for me from that then? So you got your black belt in karate. Got obviously your dad pushed you into all these open competitions.
No, he never actually pushed me into them at all.
Okay.
He even pushed me into doing karate. He didn't want me doing it. He wanted me to do drama at school. Really? Don't know why. Yeah. I don't know where that came from. He has weird ideas, doesn't he?
Coronation Street. He wanted you on Coronation Street, didn't he?
But no, at no point did he ever push me into training at all. Didn't push me into any tournaments. I said I wanted to go. I wanted to go after watching the first Clash of Time. I watched Joe Tierney fight Elvis Parsley, I think it was.
How old were you then? You must have been young.
No, I wasn't even alive. I watched it on DVD.
Oh, well, I was going to say, me and Gavin, how old were we, Gavin? We were 15 at that, weren't we?
Yeah, now I wasn't even
Yeah,
born.
I was 15, yeah.
Now you're making us feel old.
Yeah, I've got it on VHS still as well.
That's a quality fight, isn't it? Absolute quality.
Oh, brilliant. Got knocked out and then got back up and won. Don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
And then after that, for some reason, that made me want to fight. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The fight where someone gets absolutely sparked out, I don't know where he is, made me want to fight. But yeah, told my dad my first tournament. I took it on 2 days' notice. I just said, Dad, I'm off to this. He went, "You're not, are you?" I went, "Yeah, I am." And I came second in my first tournament, which wasn't too bad.
Okay.
What about form side of the martial arts? Do you ever get involved in the form side?
No, I'd be terrible at katas and forms. I always find you get two sorts of people: people who can fight and people who are good at the katas and the forms.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get into him. I don't have the patience. Bob were right good at him. His katas, he knows everything about every kata and stuff. I can't do it. It just blags me completely.
It's interesting. When I used to go away with the TGB national squad, it was you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. You had to do fighting, point stop, continuous. You had to do your katas or patterns. You had to do your breaking, special technique events. By the end of the competition, you're absolutely knackered. And I'd rather fight two people, at the same time than go on and do a kata. I absolutely hate it, being out there, being judged, knowing I'll probably never remember it anyway. There's been times where I've made up moves just to get through it. Yeah, bloody awful. What about you, Gavin? You're a kata man either, are you? Pattern man either?
No, never. I mean, to be honest, it's funny. As I get older, I enjoy them more now. When I was like your age, Oliver, and below, I just did them only to get my belt. That was it. I did my patterns just so I could get my next grade. But I think it's
I
only when you get
refuse to do them still.
Yeah.
I refuse to do them at that point as well.
Well, you must have. Yeah, but the thing is, you got your black belt in karate, so you must have performed.
You had to do P-dan, knee-dan for that one. It's a nice steady one.
Right. Yeah. So from your competing on your first competition, obviously came second in that. How was that first competition for you? Did you enjoy it? Was it, could you have done
I loved
better?
It.
Yeah.
No, I think I did great for my first time. I just turned up, knocked a lad out in the first fight. And then I lost to someone who I think he was world champion second fight. So I went too first. And then after that, I just wanted to compete all the time.
For it.
Yeah, I've ended up having altogether now 97 kickboxing fights altogether from doing it.
Wow.
Have they been full contact fights? Or
not all of them. Some have been. Some been light contact. The light contact's not light contact, is it?
No, it's not.
Mental.
He jumps in and outs you more, doesn't he? That's all.
Yeah, nice. I remember going to one at light contacts when I was 18. They were getting carried off on a stretcher. Like his head sort of plastered together. It didn't look right good. That's light contact. Couldn't move, like paralysed in this stretcher. Mental.
So the only light contact bit about it is particularly if it's on a mat, you can step off the mat and it stops, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if you're in a ring, it doesn't stop.
People still whack each other when they go off the mat, though, don't they? Like you get someone who puts his arm up, like stop, and gets bombed in the face.
Better off putting your guard up.
They're mad, them tournaments. They're just crackers.
Yeah.
I loved them.
So what was your first win then?
My first win?
Yeah.
Well, my first fight I did was I fought in a Sikh temple in Huddersfield. They got like a sports centre next to it, and I had a draw in that one. And then that's when I went to the tournament after, and I fought this sort of little chubby kid in my first fight, and then I just kicked him in the body and he dropped. Then second fight we're against a lad called Ellis Blake, who's
I know that name.
oh,
Karate
he's brilliant. Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to karate. Then he's into boxing now. I think he's doing right good in that.
Okay.
He's done right good. Me and Jacob always tried to beat him, but we never beat him. Could never
Did you ever
him.
come up against Michael Page, or was he a little bit older?
He's massive in comparison to me.
What weight do you fight at, Oliver?
Yeah, I'm fat. This MMA fight I've got next Saturday. I'm fighting at 61 kg.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
I'm only 5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you found the lockdown then, Oliver, with not being able to compete? Have you been struggling, or you been enjoying it?
I had a bit of time off competing for a while. So I wasn't bothered about competing throughout that year, which was quite good. I'll focus tomorrow on my teaching then.
Mm-hmm.
But with that first lockdown, because I'm not moving around and teaching my classes, I'd go out, do an online class, do a bit of pads with my dad, and then I'd come home, eat and chill, and I ended up getting right fat after that first lockdown.
Go on then. What weight did you get up to?
Up to 73 kg.
Bloody hell.
I know. It didn't look good. And I shaved all my hair off completely. It wasn't a good look. Fat, bald guy.
So you was running. Do you run your own school? Do you, Oliver? Or do you?
Yeah, we've got his own club. It's just me and Bob who run it.
Okay.
It's doing really good since we've reopened. It's done brilliant.
It's been busy, hasn't it? I mean,
it's been mental.
We reopened with the kids' classes, and I'm just inundated with new inquiries. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're still under restrictions. So there's only so many people you can get in. So that's always the
we've got quite a big area, so we're quite lucky with that.
Yeah. So but kids, I think do you teach the kids stuff?
No, Bob does the kids because he's just on another level of teaching them. You can teach them without having to show them anything.
Okay.
And
sit on his chair.
He hypnotizes them somehow, and they all listen to him.
He's got that way about him, hasn't he?
He listened to that guy for years and not get bored of him.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's doing good. I teach the teenagers and the adult classes down there.
Okay.
The teenagers are cocky, aren't they? Can't do it right with them, lot. They just criticise you no matter what.
Yeah, it's different, a whole different level of teaching teenagers, right? Definitely.
No, it's brilliant.
But then it's rewarding, though. It's rewarding when you can see them turn that corner. That's what I always say, isn't it? You get these, you get the stroppy teenagers and or the kids that don't know the lefts and rights, and all of a sudden you see them turn that corner and they start.
Is that when you've got a kid who can't do a push up at best? That ones I like working with. Ones that just can't.
Just move their head up and down, nice. Move their head up and down, or move their bum up and down.
Thing. I like working with them ones because all kids who are quite athletic and pick it up quite quick. You don't need to spend much time with them, but I like working with the kids that need the help.
Yeah, and that's
we've got some proper good kids down at club. I love them to bits.
Yeah, it becomes more than just being an instructor. I mean, we talk about this all the time. You're more than just an instructor, aren't you? Teaching them martial arts. You're a coach. You're a friend. You're a mentor. You get someone in that's, dare I say it, pretty pants at most things, and you see them progressing, and you watch them work. And I don't know about you, I prefer those kids that struggle at absolutely everything, because every time they're giving 100%. But if you get these superstars in, they come in straight away, they can do X, Y, and Z. They get bored in 10 minutes, don't they? And they stop putting the effort in. It's the ones that really struggle, and I think they're the ones that stay loyal to you as well.
That one, me as well. I used to be terrible at everything.
You and me both. You and me both.
For some reason, I've been good at fighting.
He used to say to me, can't you get this right? Why can't you get this pattern right? Look at that lad over there. He's awesome when he's kicking. I'm like, well, that's him, isn't it? I can't do it. I didn't really start getting good at martial arts until I was about 14.
It's all I've been good at martial arts. I'm terrible at everything else. When we had to clean club at lockdown, as academy, my dad we had to climb up because we've got a balcony with loads of crap on it. And he went, whatever you do it for anything off onto carpet up there, because there's stuff in there with loads of cans of paint in it. So the first thing I threw off, paint everywhere, wasn't there? He went mental with me. It's a bright purple carpet now. Looks horrible.
So what's the dream then, Oliver? So obviously you're still a young lad. What's your, I suppose, your life dream in the martial arts? Presumably it's to keep sticking at martial arts. Is it to grow your school, have your own school one day, or just go into go into the fighting side, maybe become pro? What's your
I'm
sort of
gonna
dream?
do both. I'm gonna teach my classes. Running an academy is quite. I think it's quite a steady job, to be honest. Building it up at first quite hard, but once you've got a nice system in place, it's real efficient and steady. And then I'm doing all my MMA training with a guy called Ian Butlin, who's just, he's something else, that guy. He's a bit like Bob, but a wrestling version of him.
Okay.
He's very, very, very good, and he's obsessed with it. So
What sort of
he
wrestling?
just knows
What
everything.
wrestling is it?
He does catch wrestling. He's good at his Greco-Roman wrestling. He's good at, been doing judo since he was 8 as well.
Right.
And he's got his brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and black belt in jiu-jitsu. He just knows everything about it. Oh, he's brilliant.
So how did you get hooked up with him then?
He used to go watch Clash of Titans as well when he was younger because he lives around here. So he's always known my dad. My dad's always known him, and I've always just like watching UFC. So I wanted to get to MMA, and then I saw he'd reopened his MMA gym literally a few weeks after I'd said it. So I just rang my dad, like, is Ian Butlin good? He went, if you want to do well, train with him. So I've been training that. It's been the hardest training I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
Mental.
What's the sort of differences from what your karate stand-up training? How's that? What's the difference? Obviously, it's on the ground, it's more grappling, but how does it differ in terms of intensity, the methodology?
Yeah, well, he does a lot of isolation training. So we'll drill, say, someone's in guard, basic one. Someone's in guard, someone's just got to pass the legs and go to the other bit and pass. But he'll isolate, so you're not allowed to do certain things. So you can't rely on the stuff you're good at.
Yeah.
So it gets mentally very frustrating very quick, that sort of stuff. So see what you're good at, and then we'll move on to stuff we're not as good at, and then we've got to learn all that. But yeah, he mentally drains me when he trains me. Especially when I'm grappling with him, he does my head in, and I swear at him all the time. He knows he does my head in as well. all the time, just it's to do 8 5-minute rounds. It's just me just swearing at him, getting annoyed at him.
The thing is,
as so good.
As a fighter, though, it's so easy to instinctively go back to your toolbox of techniques that work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
No, as you know, we've all got them. We've all got a favorite combo that when you're tired and you're in round 3 and they're beating on you, all you do is just keep throwing that one combo, hoping it works, because that's you're totally beaten. That's what you keep doing. And I think when you're training, having a coach who's really going to say, "Well, no, we know that works. Let's find another technique that's going to work in a different scenario." I guess.
Yeah. Well, I did a phase. I was a right-legged kicker. I did a phase where my coach wouldn't let me kick off my right leg for 2 months. So normally, that front leg side kick, jab it out. That was my go-to attack and defense move. When I couldn't do that, I had to start using my left leg. And it was for the first month, I was getting battered by these students in the class, or the other guys in the class. But it picked that leg up. So it gave me that secondary movement. Because one of the guys that I used to fight a lot. If you come in with your right leg, he used to spin on you. And he'd spin back kick, spin reverse turning kick to the head or hook kick. And the only way to defeat him was to switch legs and go off the left leg to stop him spinning on you. Because when he span on that side, you weren't open. So it paid dividend in the end, but you've got to go through that pain, haven't you, to get those techniques right. And eventually they become your go-to moves.
Well, everyone who we do a lot of pressure drills as well, which you can't win at them. He's literally just teaches you not to quit. So it's like, do you do like a fresh opponent every minute?
No,
Oh yeah.
Man in the middle.
Shark Tank, or is it Shark Tank?
That's the one. Yeah. I remember doing my first one. I was sick after.
hey, listen. You know, it's a good session when you're puking in the bushes after.
I did it in a canal.
Or puking in the bushes before you start, because you know it's going to be a hard session. That's the worst.
That is bad, isn't it?
Knowing what you're going to get put into. So is this you're having an MMA fight next week?
Yeah, it's on MMA Uncaged.
Okay, is it your first fight?
It's my first MMA fight, yeah.
Okay, good. And what? So you've talked a little bit about the differences in training. How intense has the training been for this particular fight?
It's been the best I've ever trained in my life.
Okay.
I've trained every single day. I had 2 days off, but
You've got to have recovery. You've got to have recovery, haven't you?
No, I do. Well, we've always said if you get enough sleep properly, your recovery is good.
Yeah.
So getting to bed early, just make sure you're eating, not getting stressed. That's your best way you can recover.
Yeah.
Then I've been having midday naps, which have been perfect. Get up in the morning, tray, have a midday nap.
Yeah, just that hour recovery makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Recovery is key. I didn't realise how important it was. I used to train all the time, then go out, then not sleep, and you end up getting ill and run down, don't you? Because you just don't recover properly.
The thing is, you can do it when you're young. Your fitness doesn't progress as well. I mean,
no, it don't get anywhere.
It was worse for it.
But now
going out.
I know for this fight, I've done everything perfect that I can do.
So what's the typical training day then, Oliver? What's that then like?
I think my favourite day would be on a Tuesday. So Tuesdays I get up, I roll with Ian, my coach. We do 8 5-minute rounds where he just batters me. In a progressive way.
Yeah. In a training-friendly coach way.
Yeah, do you know when your coach beats you all the time, but he teaches you like a little thing which means so much at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can't be annoyed at him after. And then I come home, have something to eat, have a nap, favourite bit, and then get up, do my classes, and then do some kickboxing on the night.
Okay. And what does your sort of nutrition schedule look like?
Actually, yeah, a lot of people have really where they have meals like set times and stuff. I don't just eat normal meals. I just lay off like. I don't eat as much carbs and I need to lose weight and stuff like that. No over the top.
You just sort of prepare them? Do you like sort of pre-prepare them?
Nah, I'm terrible.
Or do you just come in and say, meals. Dad, Mum, I want my dinner now. I want egg and chicken.
No, I don't live at home anymore.
You got to do it yourself then, have you?
You can still go around there. You can still go around there. Come on, Dad, I'm training.
I've got an air fryer now, so that's easy to make breakfast in.
I'll tell you, top tip what I do. I never used to like cooking my meals, but planning them for me because I'm busy working and busy training. So what I do, I got the old slow cookers.
Yeah.
Oh, slow cookers are good.
Stick my chicken in there. Stick my chicken in. Yeah, easy. Just lob it in, throw it all in, bit of hot water. Come back 5-6 hours later, it's done, and then just stick it in tubs with some of that Uncle Ben's rice. Throw it in the fridge, and all you need to do is then slam it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Really, honestly, brilliant. And I was the world's worst because my job, I do a lot of sales and business development, so I'm always on the road to customers, and I'd find myself just going to a service station in a rush, going to get a Mackie D's, going to get a KFC. I could never lose the weight. So as soon as I started doing that,
at McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was having wraps.
Oliver, this is our standard conversation most days. It's like, it's Jackson's ringing. All right, Gav, what are you up to? Hang on 2 seconds a minute. Yeah, can I order 2 Big Macs, a cheeseburger, and a milkshake, please? Yeah, sorry, Gav. Yeah, back on it.
I'm not fighting anymore, mate. I don't need to lose weight, do I?
I think when you stop fighting, just do what you want.
That's it, yeah.
Like Nazim Ahmed, isn't it?
I cut around now at 90 kilos, yeah? When I was fighting, I was fighting at 76 kilos.
Yeah, finish all your fighting. Enjoy having food.
Exactly, Gavin. And you've been enjoying it for the last 20 years, your food, haven't you, Gavin?
Yeah, I still am, mate.
Yeah, he still is. So just back onto the fight. So whereabouts are you fighting then? And who's your opponent?
So behind closed doors. And honestly, I haven't been told my opponent. Ian, the coach, said he's like, just go in, just fight him, you'll be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you can do, isn't
he's
it?
quite confident in my ability with this.
Yeah.
He says my first 2, he's quite confident in my ability for my first 2 amateur MMA fights.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go down. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life as well, so I'm not too worried. I've just got to turn up good on the day and I'm fine.
And what weight are you fighting at? Is it
bantamweight?
Yeah.
I'm going to end up fighting flyweight. It's just I got fat after that first lockdown in it, so I've got to do bantamweight at the moment.
Do you sort of model yourself on any of the UFC fighters? What would you say if you
have a similar fight and style to I do?
Yeah,
I've had I don't think any of them started off with Silat, did they really? But
well, I suppose.
no one knows what it is.
You never know. They probably just wouldn't admit it.
No, but a lot of the MMA guys, it's either a boxing style or a Thai boxing style of stand up. There's not many that actually do the freestyle kickboxing and karate styles.
No.
There's not many. I think it's very effective style. It's really underrated.
Yeah.
You just got to look at a few of them, like Michael Page, Stephen Thompson, just knocking everyone out with his style. Mark Weir, yes.
Yeah, he's a top lad.
He fought Buster that time, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
Buster Reeves knocked him out.
So we had him on the show. God,
He's ace. He set record,
weeks
didn't he,
ago,
at UFC?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So fastest knockout, that axe kick jab.
that's right.
Yeah, well, he was
I
training with.
remember
It's funny because when he was in the when he was doing Taekwondo, his coach was a guy called Tony Sewell, who was known as the Iceman.
I know him.
His nickname was the Iceman. You'll have seen him at the Clash of the
he fought Kevin Brewerton.
That's it. Right, yeah. And then when he progressed into the UFC, he hooked up with Chuck Liddell. He was obviously called the Iceman as well. Yeah. So he was basically his training partner over in the States. So obviously you can imagine the sort of experience that you would gain with training with Chuck Liddell, his striking, and he was Kempo guy, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, well, but I found with the MMA, it's my first MMA spar I got battered by my training partner. It's like called Sam Kelly, very good, very very good MMA fighter. He's a good wrestler as well. And I was too busy thinking about takedown defense that I was just getting taken down all the time because I was just thinking about takedowns.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot more comfortable with the wrestling. It's been easier to adjust into my striking now.
Right. Okay. So where do you consider your strong points are then? We're not putting this out until after your fight, so don't worry.
No, it's all right. Well, my striking is definitely my strong point. I've never had a problem with anyone striking ever. I find it's, and Bob taught me all these weird moves, doesn't he? Because he's different, that guy. It's so unorthodox to the normal style. That's the word, unorthodox, isn't it? Yeah. And how weird will go away. It's weird. He taught me first, actually, with a stand-up. It ain't, all it is being able to hit and not get hit. Mm-hmm. So that's all we worked, hit and don't get hit. That's how simple the striking is. For some reason, people overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Like really overcomplicate. Like there's some science behind it. There isn't. It is literally.
It's a high-speed game of chess, isn't it?
Yeah. Same with the grappling's like chess. Yeah. But the striking, it's just hit them, don't get hit. It's that simple. Everyone makes out it's complex and stuff, but it's not. It is that basic. You just got to hit them, don't get hit, and you win.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're probably right, actually.
Yeah, but he taught me a lot. If you look at my dad's style, like in the Clash of the Titans, it's very similar to where mine is now, because he taught me it. Mm-hmm. We work a lot of boxing. So that's what a lot of the kickboxers can't really box, can they? No. You'll see them, they just, when they get in close, they panic and grab. There's a lot of boxing involved and a lot of setting up the body kicks, which then set up your head kicks, as you know. Mm-hmm. But we love to set up as back kicks to the body. Everyone knows it. I'm not hiding it from anyone. That back kick to the body is what we use. Everyone who watches me fights, it's just it's always a back kick.
Have you ever seen Raymond Daniels?
Of course, I've seen Raymond. He's very good at them.
Legend back kicks.
And his axe kicks as well. I know his axe kicks that he throws from nowhere, off the front leg.
Yeah, he throws the spinning up kick a lot. So when you throw back kicks and spinning up kicks together,
you don't know where it's going.
It's a 50-50, innit? They always go to block the body. If you smash an hard back kick in, it'll definitely go block the body again. Yeah. And that's why it opens your spin up kicks. That's why it's so easy to knock them out if you work them too constantly. Yeah. Don't just work the spin
because you can spin off both sides, can't he? Equally as well.
He's always a Taekwondo world champion as well as a K1 kickboxing champion. And when I went to Irish Open, you were fighting on there. He was ripping everyone to bits. Nasty fighter. And honestly, it was painful to watch. You see someone go up against him, you're like, oh no.
What next? Is the next door, man.
And he just ripped him to bits.
Yeah, not good. Well, we're coming to the end of the podcast, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that we always ask our guests. So, do you want to go for this one, Gav?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Oliver, we are the motivated martial artists. So I suppose the question is, what sort of kept you motivated? I know through the years, I know you're only 23.
Yeah.
You're still a young whippersnapper. But, I'm interested to know, I suppose, really what's kept you motivated up until obviously this point.
That's a good question because I don't actually know myself. It's just something I've always done.
Winning, probably.
Yeah, no, I hate losing. That is definitely what it is. Oh, I lose it. I hate it. I'm a pretty solid. I don't show it, but I do hate it. It could be out. Me and mates play a game called Speedrunners on PlayStation. It's an absolutely pathetic game. And I get annoyed if I lose that. It's definitely that I just don't like losing at stuff. That's why I train right hard.
I think that's the trait of most good champions, isn't it? You've got to have that. You don't like to lose.
No, I hate losing. It's horrible. Don't know why anyone wants to lose at stuff. Crap.
Do you know what? It's funny. I've got 3 girls. One just a bit older than you, and one younger, and one 17. And I always remember just teaching them, like playing on the PlayStation or on the dance mat on the PlayStation, all those on the Wii. And then Mum used to say, "Are you going to let them win?" And I'd be like, "No. If they're going to win, they've got to earn a victory." I never gave them, and now they're competitive because I refuse to let them win for the sake of being nice to them.
Yeah, my dad always used to play chess with him. He never let me beat him, ever. I go up to his house for months to play with him. And I finally beat him once, and I haven't played with him again since. Left it there.
I'll tell you what,
I bet he's frothing out the mouth for a rematch.
I'm gonna have to line your dad up for a game of chess. I love chess.
I play it with you. He invites everyone on Facebook.
Yeah, chess.com I'm on all the time.
Ask him for a game on Facebook. He'll invite you to one, and he will smash you.
Yeah, he will smash me.
All right, then. And the final question, Oliver. What advice would you give then to I suppose a young man your age, maybe, or a little bit younger, that's thinking about getting into martial arts? What sort of advice would you give to them?
Who wants to compete or just wants to get into doing it?
Get in and competing, I suppose.
Yeah, just do it and train hard, that's it. Just turn up, give 100%. That's all you can do. Do you know if you're giving 100%? You know if you're slacking off on a day. I get annoyed at myself after a training session if I slack off a little bit and then I come home and I'm right grumpy with myself. But just go and give 100%. Find a club that suits you. Don't go to one just because apparently it's the best around where you live. Go to one which you're comfortable with. Just have a proper look around and find the one where you gel with the coaches as well. They could be an incredible coach, but if you don't get on with them, no point in training with them. So find somewhere you're comfortable to train. Yeah.
Okay, just one final question then. I know that was normally the final question, but I'm interested to know if you've got any dirt on your dad.
What do you want to know?
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Bob Sykes story. Let me have a think. I'm trying to think of ones which are suitable to tell. They're a fair. You know the one on Castle Hill. You've all heard that one, haven't you? For Derek Brown. You not heard the Wing Chun War story?
No. Go on. Just be quick though, because it's your
Have you
podcast,
not heard this?
Yeah.
It's in his book as well. If you ever read his book, but he's I think it's Derek Jones. I hope that's his name. But they had an arranged fight on a spot called Castle Hill, which is in Huddersfield. We've got a big castle on a hill which we built for, I think, Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth, I don't know which one. There's a big castle there. And basically, Derek Jones was saying that you were a tough sort of Wing Chun fighter. And you know what Bob's like. If someone says they're tough, he wants to fight them. Not really fight anyone, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Someone's fought Ronnie Green on 20 minutes notice once. He'll fight anyone. So this guy make out tough. So my dad, back then you had to write letters to people, didn't you? It's how old it is. Yeah, no emails, no. Didn't know his landlines. They had to write letters to each other, and they'd actually organised a proper, legitimate fight on this hill. And they got up there. This is what I've heard the story. I've heard it of 3 different people, but I've heard 2 people tell it the same, so I'll tell it that way. Um, Bob got there and he was a bit run down and ill. So I don't think he wanted to fight. And Tony said he'd do it, his brother. And I think Derek walked over to Tony and said, thinking you were Bob Sykes. And Tony just pointed at me dad, like, nah, that's him. Just saying me, there's a lot of thanks to it. So he started having this scrap. I think straight away, Derek kicked me dad in balls, knocked him down. You can find all these on forums still if you type on the internet. But he kicked him in balls. He's scrapping up fire, trying to gouge my dad's eye out or something.
It's proper,
basically
proper no rules then. No,
there were no rules whatsoever. They're trying to kill each other. And he gets up and smacks Derek around the head and drops him or something. And then all other people around him start to look like it's going to turn into a big scrap. So my dad and Derek sort of just call it off, call it a draw, so that everyone else doesn't start trying to kill each other. But that's it's in his book. Read his book and look at Wing Chun Wars, but it's in better detail.
I was listening because he was reading chapter by chapter, wasn't he, through lockdown?
He did. But that's the one. I think that's sort of right. I couldn't tell you because I don't have it in front of me, but it's along those lines of it was just mental. But like a proper arranged fight. It was absolutely crackers.
It's difficult to get away with those sort of things these days, isn't it?
You can't do it these days, can you?
It'd be on Facebook, and you'd have a crowd of about 1,000 people there.
Yeah. You've got another version at fights. Someone else saw it. It's on YouTube as well. So if you ever look at Bob and Derek Jones fight, it's just mad. It's not right. I don't know why they did it.
They're mad as blocks of fish. Who would you say then? Just going back, like I say, is your podcast. Who's been some of your toughest opponents? Who would you say? Who's been your nemesis when you've been fighting, or have you not come across that person where he's won one?
No. I couldn't say I ever did.
No.
I had some people who beat me, but I'd never say they were my nemesis or anything like that. We had some rematches and I won, but.
Well, that's part of fighting, isn't it?
I never anyone that were really my nemesis in it. I liked everyone when I fight people. I'm not really a threatening person, as you can probably tell. So I always like nice to them.
Well, you never know. If the MMA career kicks off, you may find that one nemesis in the future.
I hope I do.
Yeah, I hope you do. That would be good. I'm looking forward to it. Once lockdowns done, hopefully watch not this fight, obviously, because it's behind closed doors. But certainly your next fight, I think.
Now I've got one on August the 7th as well. So it's on my birthday. Okay. The 24th that day. In, where is it now? Barnsley Metrodome.
Okay, not too far.
Yeah, I'm fighting on Almighty Fight Championships.
Brilliant.
Worth coming up and having a watch then, Gavin?
Yeah, it's not far from me.
Yeah.
Is it not far? Whereabouts are you?
I'm at York.
You'll have to watch then. You've got no choice.
It's interesting. Gavin,
45 minutes. 45 minutes
on the train. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Sorted.
Yeah. Right, Oliver. Best of luck for next week.
Thank you very much.
I really do hope you smash it. I'm sure you will. Every confidence that you will.
I feel very good.
It's been great having you on the podcast this evening.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Look forward to seeing you on Bellator or in the UFC in the future.
Nice one. Thank you.
Definitely. All right, buddy.
Take care. Cheers, Oliver.
Take care. Have a lovely night. Bye.
I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of the Motivated Martial Artist podcast. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page and our Facebook group, the Motivated Martial Artist podcast.
And don't forget also the Motivated Martial Artist Instagram page.
So head along for some extra content, interviews and much more.
So until next week, it's bye from Jackson
and Gavin,
the Motivated Martial Artists.